Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Southwest Virginia fishing report with Matt Reilly. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great, Marvin. Just sitting here at my tie-in desk, trying to fill in some gaps in my fly boxes and transition into the seasons to come. Things are changing pretty quickly right now.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I took a quick look at your weather, and you're definitely cooling off, and you're going to get a fair amount of rain with this. I guess it's kind of the backside of the nor'easter that's going up the East Coast later this week. And I suspect you and I were talking before we started recording that that's going to probably put the kibosh on the tail end of the summer smallmouth bite.
Yeah, it's been kind of nasty here the last couple of days. Yesterday, around midday, it got real stormy, real windy. It's been blowing about 15 to 20 today. Temperature yesterday when I got on the river midday was air temperature was about 72, and we're gonna hit freezing tonight. So things are changing quick. Supposed to warm back up to sort of seasonal temperatures, towards the end of the week. Kind of lows in the low 40s and highs in the 60s. But we're supposed to get a fair amount of rain too. I think we're supposed to get about an inch between Thursday and Saturday of this week. So, may monkey with the weekend a little bit, but I'm not super confident, the way the year's gone. And even if we get an inch of rain, everything's been so low that the ground pretty much eats it up. But most of the trees aren't soaking much water up anymore. We're kind of at peak foliage now, and lots of leaves are falling, so it may stick around a little bit more.
Yeah, and I guess too, that big burst of cold air is going to really push those smallmouth to start moving towards their wintering holes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been in sort of a fall pattern for about a month now. And the last couple of days I was out, we were still doing pretty well. I mean, we had real active fish chasing bait fish imitations primarily, getting a few on top still, but though we're still able to get a couple nice fish on top, it's still definitely more of a bait fish subsurface bite at the moment. Yeah, I think I have one smallmouth trip left next week, and we will likely be rolling pretty low and slow, depending on how the water temperatures recuperate from this little cool blast that we're getting right now.
Got it. And, we were talking about you've got a new jet boat, if people don't know, so you're super excited, and it's gotten you primed for muskie season. And we have a question from Colby, and, Colby wanted to know, assuming you've got your terminal tackle figured out, what are the most critical things to remember when you go to target muskie?
Yeah. I would say really one thing, but two things. One, the way you catch a muskie is by putting, lots of good presentations in front of fish, in the right water. So you have to be focused. You have to be sort of really dedicated to making every cast and every presentation the best that it can be. And that means lots of things. It means getting your fly this time of year tight to cover, in the right water, deep enough, particularly as we cool off and move towards winter. Being down in that bottom half to third of the water column is really important, and making sure that you're not just kind of burning out in your retrieves, and that you're still being creative with your stripping cadence, and you're really moving that fly like there's something behind it, trying to trigger a fish into eating it. And then sort of to take a little bit of a step back, a lot of people think, they're like, muskie season starts in October, runs through March. Well, there's really a bunch of different, just like smallmouth fishing, there's there's a bunch of different seasons within that range. The fish are doing different things, and they're in different areas of the river. And that's probably the most important thing to be able to understand and employ when you're on the river, because muskie don't eat very often, and you're definitely not going to catch very many fish if you're not putting your flies in front of fish. So sort of understanding seasonal movements, like right now the fish are in transition. They're moving throughout the river. They're actively feeding. They're putting on weight. They've come out of sort of hot summer water, and they have the freedom to move around and exert energy and put weight on. And they're sort of slowly transitioning towards their winter spots, which they'll likely be solidly in by the end of next month. So right now, fish are kind of all over the place. They're using ambush cover, and just understanding that when you're out on the river is probably the most important thing. But you've got to understand, how that bleeds into the next season too, to kind of be able to stay fishing the areas that you need to fish in order to be successful. So I would say that's probably just understanding the biology. Just fishing for any fish is definitely the most important part.
Well, there you go. And, folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us or send them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. And if we answer your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag, and then we're going to enter you in a drawing for some cool stuff from Matt at the end of the season. And like we always do, even if you've been out goofing around on your jet boat, hopefully you've been writing your articles. So do you want to tell us what you got coming out for the Rural Virginian?
Yeah, I've been trying. It's been a bit of a struggle, but this weekend is Virginia's muzzleloader deer opener. So going to put a little short blurb out there about that, and then probably put out a little bit of a story about a couple of encounters with some muskie and some stripers I've had in the last week, just to kind of change from my normal ramblings on smallmouth and summer stuff. So it'll just be kind of a hodgepodge of seasonal things that are going on, and should be fairly quick to write, I hope, anyway, because I've got some fishing to do.
It's important to have your priorities, and
sure is.
And I'll drop that in the show notes. And before I let you hop and get back to those priorities, why don't you let folks know where they can find you so they can get on your muskie calendar this winter?
Yeah, man, it's Matt Reilly Fly Fishing is the website.com, and all my social media, phone number, email, all that's on there. So reach out however you feel best, and I look forward to talking to you.
Well, there you go. Well, as I always say, folks, fall is my favorite time to fish. Might be a little bit wet and cold this weekend, but that's what those $500 rain jackets are for. So you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Matt.
Thank you, Marvin.